The massive alien ship appeared on a quiet Tuesday morning. It dropped out of light speed just beyond Mars' orbit, its metallic hull gleaming under the distant sunlight. Earth's military satellites detected it first, sending waves of panic through every major command center on the planet. Captain James Walker stood in the United Earth Defense Force headquarters, watching the main screen with steady eyes, while others around him scrambled in barely controlled chaos. At 42, he had spent half his life preparing for this moment, though many had called him paranoid for believing in alien life. "Sir, they're broadcasting on all frequencies," Lieutenant Adams reported, her fingers moving quickly across the control panel. "The message is being automatically translated." The alien transmission filled every screen and radio channel on Earth. "Greetings, developing species of Sol 3. We are the Stellar Confederation, an alliance of advanced civilizations. We come in peace to welcome you into the galactic community." What followed was not the joyous first contact humanity had dreamed about. The Stellar Confederation's representatives, tall beings with iridescent skin called the First Speakers Council, arrived at the United Nations building in New York. They brought with them advanced technology and data about the galaxy, but their attitude made Walker's jaw clench. "How quaint," the lead speaker said, examining Earth's most advanced starship engine. "You're still using chemical propulsion. We abandoned such primitive methods thousands of years ago." Their translator didn't quite hide the condescending tone in their voice. Walker watched from the side of the conference room as Earth's leaders presented their achievements. The aliens smiled their strange, sideways smiles at everything. The International Space Station, quantum computers, fusion experiments. Each presentation met with the same response: patronizing amusement. "Your species shows promise," the lead speaker announced in the final meeting. "But you are clearly in your technological infancy. The Confederation hereby extends protected status to Earth. We will guide your development, much as one guides a child." The UN representatives shifted uncomfortably in their seats. Protected status sounded nice, but Walker understood what it really meant. Earth would be treated like a primitive backwater, denied access to real galactic technology and trade. With respect, Walker spoke up from his position. "Breaking protocol. Earth doesn't need protection. We're capable of managing our own development." The lead speaker turned those large, silver eyes toward him. "Ah, the military representative speaks. Tell me, Captain, what is your most powerful weapon?" "Our nuclear arsenal," Walker began. Laughter interrupted him. Actual laughter, though it sounded more like wind chimes in a storm. The entire alien delegation was amused. "Nuclear fission, or is it fusion?" The lead speaker's translator crackled with their mirth. "We use such reactions to power our children's toys. Your most devastating weapons wouldn't scratch the paint on our smallest vessels." Walker felt his face grow hot, but he kept his voice steady. "Weapons aren't everything. Humanity has other strengths." "Yes, yes," the lead speaker waved a long-fingered hand. "Your determination, your adaptability. We've heard similar arguments from other young races, but facts remain facts. You haven't even colonized your own solar system. You can barely reach your own moon anymore. The galaxy is dangerous, filled with predator species and cosmic threats. You need our protection." The meeting ended with Earth officially classified as a protected world. The Confederation would establish an outpost on Mars to watch over humanity's development. They would prevent any hostile aliens from attacking Earth, but they would also control what technology humans could access. As Walker walked out of the UN building that evening, he looked up at the stars. Somewhere up there, Confederation ships were already settling into orbit, their crews probably laughing about the primitive humans they'd encountered. His hands clenched into fists at his sides. "Laugh all you want," he muttered, "but you don't know humans very well if you think we'll accept being treated like children." He didn't know it then, but those words would prove prophetic. In just 6 months, everything would change. Humanity was about to remind the galaxy of an ancient truth. Sometimes the most dangerous weapon isn't technology, but the determination to prove everyone wrong. 6 months after first contact, humanity was learning to live with their protected status. The Confederation's presence had become a constant reminder of Earth's supposed backwardness. Their sleek ships regularly passed through the solar system, their crews barely acknowledging the humans they were meant to protect. On a cold morning in December, Dr. Tom Miller stared at his computer screen in the deep space listening post in Antarctica. Something was different about the signal he'd been tracking for the past week. It wasn't random space noise or Confederation chatter. It was old, very old. "Captain Walker," he said into his comm unit, "you need to see this." Walker arrived an hour later, his breath visible in the cold Antarctic air. He'd been stationed on Earth after the first contact, demoted to liaison with the Confederation forces. The aliens hadn't appreciated his outburst at the UN. "What am I looking at, Tom?" Walker asked, leaning over the scientist's shoulder. "A signal coming from the Kuiper Belt, way beyond Neptune. It's been repeating for thousands of years, but it's so weak that our instruments could barely detect it. The only reason we caught it now is because the Confederation's presence forced us to upgrade our detection systems." Walker studied the pattern on the screen. "And you're sure it's not alien?" "That's the strange part," Tom replied, pulling up another display. "The signal, it's using patterns similar to human brainwaves. No other species we've met uses anything like it." Walker's eyes narrowed. "Have you reported this to the Confederation?" "Not yet. I wanted you to see it first." Walker nodded slowly. "Keep it that way. Get me a ship." 3 days later, Walker stood on the bridge of the UES Hawking, Earth's newest exploration vessel. The Confederation had grudgingly allowed humans to build it, though they considered its technology primitive. The ship's crew of 20 was handpicked by Walker himself. "Sir," the navigator spoke up, "we're approaching the signal's location, but the Confederation outpost on Mars is hailing us." The main screen lit up with the familiar silver eyes of a Confederation official. "Captain Walker, you have exceeded your assigned exploration zone. Return to Earth immediately." "We're conducting a routine survey," Walker replied calmly. "There's nothing in our protection agreement that forbids that. Your primitive sensors might miss crucial dangers. Return now, or we will be forced to escort you back." Walker muted the transmission and turned to his crew. "Options." "Sir," Tom Miller spoke up from his science station, "the signal is getting stronger. Whatever's out there, it's big. And it's starting to react to our presence." The ship's sensors lit up with new data. Hidden in the darkness of space, something massive was waking up. The Confederation official was still speaking, but Walker wasn't listening anymore. On the main viewport, a shape was becoming visible against the star field. It was a ship, but unlike anything humanity had ever seen. It was huge, easily 20 times the size of the largest Confederation vessel. Its dark hull was covered in patterns that seemed to shift and move, even though the ship itself remained perfectly still. "My God," someone whispered. The Confederation official had gone silent too, finally noticing what the humans had found. When they spoke again, their voice had lost all its condescension, replaced by something that sounded very much like fear. "Leave that sector immediately. That vessel is forbidden." It's not possible. The ancestors' ships were all destroyed. But something was happening. The massive ship was coming alive, patterns of light racing across its hull, and it was responding specifically to the human vessel's presence, ignoring the Confederation ships that were now racing toward the scene. "Sir," Tom called out, his voice filled with wonder, "the ship, it's sending us a message, in perfect English." Walker leaned forward as words appeared on their main screen. "GDNETIC profile, reorganized. Human presence, DTTCTE. Initiating awakening protocol. Welcome home, Children of Earth." The massive ship hung in space like a sleeping giant, its hull now glowing with patterns of blue light. The UES Hawking's crew stood frozen, staring at the message still displayed on their main screen. Behind them, The Confederation vessels had formed a defensive line, but they hadn't fired. They seemed just as shocked as the humans. "Tom," Walker said quietly, "can we dock with it?" Before Dr. Miller could answer, the ancient ship made the decision for them. A beam of soft blue light reached out and enveloped the Hawking. The crew gasped, but their instruments showed no danger. Instead, they were being gently pulled toward an opening that had appeared in the larger vessel's hull. "Captain Walker," the Confederation commander's voice crackled through their comm, "you must not enter that vessel. The technology of the ancestors is beyond your comprehension. You'll destroy yourselves." Walker smiled slightly. "Funny. That's what you said about space travel." He turned to his crew. "Anyone who wants to stay behind can take a shuttle back. No shame in it." Not a single crew member moved. The docking was smoother than any they'd ever experienced. The massive ship seemed to adjust its systems to match their technology perfectly. As they stepped through the airlock, the ancient vessel's corridors lit up ahead of them, as if inviting them forward. "The air is breathable," Tom reported, checking his instruments. "And look at this. The gravity, temperature, even the humidity. They're all exactly like Earth's." They'd made their way deeper into the ship, following the trail of lights. The corridors were huge, clearly built for beings about human size. Everything they saw was both incredibly advanced and somehow familiar, as if they were walking through a dream of what human technology might become. They reached what appeared to be the bridge, a vast circular room with windows that showed real-time views of space in all directions. As they entered, a soft voice spoke in perfect English. "Welcome, descendants. I am the Artificial Intelligence Operations Manager, but you may call me Atlas. I have waited 50,000 years for your return." A hologram appeared in the center of the room, a figure that looked surprisingly human, though made of light. I don't understand," Walker said. "The Confederation speaks of the ancestors like gods. But you're saying the ancestors were human," Atlas confirmed. "Or rather, humans are the ancestors, though you have forgotten your heritage. When the great danger came, your ancestors made a choice. They hid their children, your earliest ancestors, on Earth, removing all advanced technology and knowledge from them. It was the only way to protect humanity from what was coming." Tom was scanning everything with his instruments, his eyes wide. "This technology, it's incredible. The ship isn't just responding to us. It's actively adapting itself to match our current level of understanding, teaching itself our language and customs from our computers." "Correct," Atlas said. "I am programmed to awaken only for human brain patterns and to adjust my systems to help you understand. The Confederation's attempts to study ancestor technology have always failed because their minds are fundamentally different." Suddenly, alarms blared through the ship. The Confederation vessels were powering up their weapons. "Final warning, humans," the Confederation commander's voice boomed. "Exit that vessel, or we will be forced to destroy it. And you, for your own protection." But Atlas seemed unconcerned. "Shall I activate defensive systems?" the AI asked calmly. This vessel, the Titan, was once the flagship of humanity's defense fleet. Its technology is still far beyond anything the Confederation possesses. Walker looked at his crew, saw the pride and determination in their eyes. After months of being treated like children, after years of being told they were primitive, humanity had found proof of their true heritage. And they weren't about to let it go. "Atlas," Walker said firmly, "show us what this ship can do. It's time to remind the galaxy who we really are." The Titan's defensive shields activated without a sound. There was no hum of power, no visible barrier, just a subtle ripple in space around the ship. The Confederation's warning shots disappeared into nothing, vanishing as if they had never existed. "Probability manipulation fields," Atlas explained as the crew watched in amazement. "Your ancestors discovered that reality itself could be persuaded to take a different path. The Confederation never understood this. They still rely on brute force. energy shields, and particle weapons. Walker watched the Confederation ships through the bridge's windows. They had stopped firing, probably realizing their weapons were useless. Atlas, show us more. Show us who we really are. The AI created a series of holograms around the bridge. They showed Earth, but not the Earth they knew. This Earth had magnificent cities that reached into space. Ships like the Titan, but smaller, flew between the stars as easily as birds through air. 50,000 years ago, Atlas began. Humanity had spread across thousands of star systems. You had mastered technology that most species never even imagine. But then came the warning. The holograms change, showing strange readings from deep space. Your scientists detected something approaching from between the galaxies, something that had destroyed countless civilizations before. The Confederation doesn't know about this threat. It hasn't returned since the ancestors faced it. What was it? Tom asked, his scientific curiosity burning. That information was deliberately erased, even from my memory banks. The ancestors feared that any record might attract its attention again. What I do know is that they had a choice: stand and fight, or hide and preserve humanity's future. The images showed a massive evacuation. Thousands of ships, carrying millions of people, all heading to Earth. They chose Earth because it was perfect, rich in resources, easily defended, and far from the danger. They built hidden bunkers deep within the planet, filled with simplified versions of their technology. Things humanity would eventually rediscover on its own. Like nuclear power, Walker realized. And computers. Exactly. The ancestors became your planet's first civilization. They deliberately forgot their advanced technology, starting over with basic tools. They mixed with the planet's early humans, becoming one people. The bunkers were hidden, programmed to decay over time, leaving only the most basic hints of technology for humanity to find at the right moments in history. Tom was studying the ship's database. But why leave the Titan out here? Insurance, Atlas replied. A hidden guardian, waiting to be found when humanity reached space again. I was programmed to wake only if I detected human brainwaves advanced enough to understand space travel. The Confederation's presence actually helped. Their suppression of human technology forced you to think creatively, to solve problems in ways they never considered, ways that proved you were ready. The hologram shifted again, showing technical diagrams that made Tom gasp. These designs, they're like nothing we've ever seen, but somehow they make perfect sense. It's like remembering something you forgot long ago. Your minds are descended from those who built this ship. Atlas explained. You can understand things the Confederation finds impossible. That's why they could never access ancestor technology. Their brains simply don't work the same way. Walker touched one of the holographic displays. It responded instantly to his hand. As natural as breathing. Can you teach us? Help us remember who we were. Better, Atlas replied. I can help you become who you are meant to be. The ancestors didn't just hide humanity. They gave you time to grow, to develop in your own way. You've faced challenges they never did, learned things they never knew. You're not just their descendants, you're their evolution. As if to prove Atlas's point, new displays appeared around the bridge, showing systems that merge Earth's current technology with the ancestors' designs. The crew watched in wonder as their own innovations combined with their forgotten heritage, creating something entirely new. Now, Atlas said, shall we show the Confederation what humanity can really do? The news about the Titans spread quickly through the Confederation. Not all aliens reacted the same way. Some were curious, others afraid, but a powerful group called the Security Council saw humanity's discovery as a threat that needed to be eliminated. Captain Walker, Atlas announced suddenly, I'm detecting multiple ships dropping out of faster-than-light travel. They're not the same vessels as before. The bridge's windows showed dozens of Confederation warships appearing around them. These weren't the sleek, diplomatic vessels they'd seen before. These were weapons of war, bristling with cannons and missile launchers. This is High Commander Reed of the Confederation Security Council, a harsh voice broadcast on all channels. The human species has accessed restricted technology beyond their development level. For the safety of the galaxy, we must act. Surrender the ancestor vessel immediately. Walker looked at his crew, then at the hologram of Atlas. Options. The Titan's defensive systems are at full power, Atlas replied. But there's a problem. The ship's weapons have been dormant for 50,000 years. They'll take time to fully activate. The High Commander's voice came again. You have 10 minutes to comply. After that, we will take action to protect the galaxy from unauthorized technological advancement. Tom's console started beeping rapidly. Sir, they're not just aiming at us. I'm picking up targeting signals directed at Earth. Walker's face hardened. Atlas, can we get back to Earth in time? Not with conventional travel. But there is another way. The AI brought up a new display. The ancestors developed emergency protocols for situations like this. The Titan can create a quantum tunnel, what you might call a wormhole, directly to Earth. Do it, Walker ordered. The space around the Titan began to twist. The Confederation ships opened fire, but their weapons still couldn't penetrate the probability field. A hole opened in space itself, a swirling vortex of blue energy. Warning, Atlas announced. Power systems are still recharging. We can protect Earth or attack the Confederation fleet, but not both at once. The High Commander's voice held a note of panic now. All ships, open fire. Don't let them reach Earth. Walker made his decision. Atlas, focus on defense. Protect Earth. Show them we're not the primitive species they think we are. The Titan emerged from the quantum tunnel directly between Earth and the Confederation fleet. More warships were arriving every minute, filling space with their weapons. Sir, Tom called out. They're launching some kind of new weapon. Energy readings are off the charts. The Confederation ships fired together. A beam of pure energy, more powerful than anything humanity had ever seen, shot toward Earth. Everyone on the bridge held their breath. The Titan's probability field flared. The massive energy beam didn't just stop, it ceased to exist. The laws of physics themselves had been rewritten in that space, turning the attack into nothing more than light and harmless radiation. Impossible. The High Commander's voice shook. Nothing can stop the Sunbreaker cannon. You still don't understand, Walker replied calmly over the comm. We're not stopping your weapons. We're changing the probability that they ever existed in the first place. Atlas's hologram smiled. Weapons are now at 30% power and rising. Shall we show them a small demonstration? Walker nodded. A single pulse of energy shot from the Titan. Where it passed, Confederation ships simply changed. Their weapons transformed into scientific instruments. Their military armor became simple hull plating. That was less than a third of our potential power, Walker broadcast to the fleet. The next shot won't be a warning. Here are our terms. Earth is no longer a protected world. We are not your children to be watched over. We are the descendants of the ancestors, and we're taking our place in the galaxy. What's your response? The Confederation fleet hung in space, their mighty weapons now useless, waiting for their commander's decision. 3 months after the confrontation with the Confederation fleet, Earth had changed more than it had in the past 100 years. The Titan now orbited the planet like a second moon, visible to everyone on the surface as a reminder of humanity's true heritage. Walker stood in the new Earth Space Command Center, built with a mixture of human innovation and ancestor technology. Around him, screens showed dozens of smaller ships under construction, each one combining Earth's current technology with the Titan's advanced systems. The integration is going better than expected, Tom reported, showing Walker the latest data. Our scientists already understood the basic principles. We just needed the Titan to show us how to apply them correctly. Atlas's hologram appeared beside them. Your people learn quickly. The ancestors would be proud. You've already improved on several of their original designs. On the main screen, They watched as the first of Earth's new ships, the Explorer, tested its probability drive. The ship disappeared in a flash of blue light, reappeared near Mars, then returned instantly. The journey that once took months now happened in seconds. "And the Confederation?" Walker asked. Still maintaining their distance, Tom replied with a slight smile. "After we transformed their weapons that day, they've been remarkably polite. Their diplomatic messages now refer to Earth as the ancestor homeworld instead of a protected planet." Walker nodded, remembering how quickly things had changed. After the battle, the Confederation Security Council had quickly withdrawn their fleet. Within days, their entire attitude toward Earth had shifted from condescension to careful respect. "What about the database searches?" Walker asked Atlas. "Your scientists are processing the Titan's libraries efficiently," the AI replied. "They've already mastered faster-than-light travel theory, gravity manipulation, and basic probability mechanics. But they're doing something the ancestors never did. They're sharing the knowledge freely among all of humanity." That had been Walker's first decision after the crisis. No secrets, no hidden technology. Every nation on Earth received equal access to the Titan's database. The result was an explosion of innovation as different cultures and viewpoints examined the ancient knowledge in new ways. "Sir," a young officer called out, "we're receiving a priority message from the Confederation Central Council." The main screen showed the face of a new alien, not the arrogant High Commander, but a senior diplomatic representative. "Greetings, inheritors of the ancestors," the alien said respectfully. "We wish to discuss a trade agreement. Several of our worlds are very interested in your new hybrid technology." Walker couldn't help but smile at the irony. The same Confederation that had called human technology primitive now wanted to learn from them. "Send them my regards," he told the officer. "Tell them Earth is open to discussion between equals." After the message was sent, Tom turned to Walker. "It's still hard to believe sometimes. 3 months ago, they treated us like children. Now they're asking for our help." "Because we did what the ancestors couldn't," Walker replied. "We didn't just recover their technology. We improved it. Our years of working with primitive technology taught us to think differently, to see solutions they missed." Atlas nodded in agreement. "The ancestors designed their ships to manipulate probability. Your scientists discovered how to merge that with existing Earth technology, creating systems that are more efficient than either one alone." Through the command center's windows, they could see the shipyard stretching out into orbit. Dozens of vessels were under construction, each one a unique combination of old and new Earth and ancestor, present and past. "The best part," Walker said, watching a test ship practice probability jumps near the moon, "is that we're just getting started. The galaxy's about to see what humanity can really do when we're given a chance to prove ourselves." 1 year after discovering the Titan, humanity had changed forever. The same aliens who once laughed at Earth's primitive technology now watched in amazement as human ships danced through space using probability fields in ways the Confederation had never imagined. Walker stood on the Titan's bridge, now upgraded with both ancestor and Earth technology. Through the massive windows, he could see the celebration happening around the planet. Thousands of lights moved through space, ships from Earth, and for the first time, vessels from hundreds of alien worlds. "The first Galactic Technology Exchange Summit is ready to begin," Tom reported, standing at his familiar station. The scientist had refused all promotions, preferring to stay where he could directly study the combination of human and ancestor technology. Atlas appeared, his hologram now showing more human-like expressions, another innovation that had surprised the Confederation. "Representatives from 57 alien civilizations are present," the AI reported, "including 23 who originally voted to classify Earth as a protected world." Walker smiled at the irony. "And now they're here to learn from us. Funny how things change." The main screen showed images from around Earth. New cities reached into the sky, their buildings using probability fields to defend against natural disasters. Clean energy powered everything, using the ancestors' quantum technology merged with Earth's existing power systems. Disease, hunger, and poverty were quickly becoming memories as the combined technology solved humanity's oldest problems. "Sir," a young officer called out, "the Confederation High Council is requesting permission to board." "Permission granted," Walker replied. "Atlas, show them what humanity has achieved." The alien leaders entered the bridge, their silver eyes wide as they took in the changes. The Titan no longer looked ancient. It had evolved, just like humanity. Earth's engineers had added their own improvements to every system, creating something neither purely ancestor nor purely human, but better than both. "Remarkable," the lead speaker said, genuine respect in their translated voice. "When we first met your species, we thought you needed protection. We were wrong. You needed freedom to grow in your own way." Walker nodded toward the main screen, where a demonstration was about to begin. "Watch this." Earth's newest ship, the Unity, appeared in a flash of blue light. It was smaller than the Titan, but incorporated all of humanity's latest innovations. As the aliens watched, it created a controlled probability field that cleaned up a field of space debris, turning the dangerous fragments into useful raw materials. "Incredible," another council member whispered. "You're not just using the ancestors' technology, you're expanding it, taking it in directions they never considered." "Because we had to solve problems without advanced technology first," Tom explained. "We learned to think differently, to see solutions that might not be obvious to species who always had probability fields and quantum drives." Atlas's hologram nodded. "The ancestors designed their technology to overcome the laws of physics. Humanity learned to work with those laws first, then combine both approaches. The results are more elegant and efficient than either path alone." Through the windows, they could see more ships arriving, vessels from the farthest reaches of the Confederation, all coming to learn from the species they once dismissed as primitive. Earth had become a center of innovation, where the wisdom of the ancestors merged with human creativity to forge something new. "So," the lead speaker said, "what's next for humanity?" Walker looked out at the stars, not just the nearby systems the Confederation had settled, but the vast unknown beyond. "We've only begun to explore our potential. The ancestors left us more than technology. They left us a legacy of discovery and innovation. Now it's our turn to carry that forward." The bridge fell silent as they watched Earth's ships practicing probability jumps, their blue energy trails painting the sky. Humanity had proven itself to the galaxy, transforming from a protected species to pioneers of a new age of exploration and discovery. The aliens who once laughed at humans now came to learn from them, and the stars themselves waited to see what this reborn species would achieve next.